Welcome back. It's another glorious morning here at the Forge. Getting things started. I've already been out here working for a little bit, but decided to go ahead and say hello to you guys, let you know of our progress so far today. So last night, I ran all the heat cycles on this spring still in the kiln. Got it nice and normalized. It's ready for the quench. Again, at this point, it's rather soft. It's soft, it's annealed, ready for the quench. So I thinned up the spatula a little bit. Went ahead and started laying out the primary bevels in the knife. Again, you want to keep your thickness, you don't want to get too thin, because going to the quench, it can warp on you. Now, doing all the normalization cycles and stuff, that's going to help with that, because I've straightened this blade out, taken any of the memory out of it. Memory from the leaf spring that it once was in the memory from me forging it, but still, you don't want to go too thin. So knife's ready. The fork is really just perfect. I'm not having to do anything to that. So what are we doing right now? Right now we need to do something in a spatula. I want to put through holes through the spatula. So I'm going to mark out where I'm going to put all my holes. I'm going to punch them, and then I'm going to go drill those out. And once I do that, we're going to go into the kiln one last time, one last austenizing cycle, and we're going to quench and make all these tools martensitic. So, all right, let's get on it. Alright, they're at temperature. They've been soaking for a little bit. So it's time to quench all these grilling utensils. These are all spring still, so I'm going to quench them in McMaster 11-second fluid, and should get a really good, nice martensitic conversion on all of these. I just hope everything stays straight, because there's a lot of long pieces, but hopefully with all the normalization cycles I did, hopefully I'm not going to have any issues. So here we go. Let's get this quench tank ready to roll and make the magic happen. Alright, so we're out of the temper. What I did was I tempered this at a lower temperature than what I'm doing the rest of the tools, because again, this is a knife. I want a little better edge retention on this, but the spatula and the fork, I'm taking it up to like a 500-degree temper on those two. This right here, I just threw it in there at 400. But anyways, this right here, since it's kind of an integral bolster, I'm going to use something called a file guide, and what this does, it's going to help get a perfect flat integral bolster right there. And then once I get that perfectly flat and square, then I'm going to grind this down to probably about 1/4 of an inch or so, and then I will finish up the bevels on the knife. So anyways, let me throw this thing on here and then go hit the grinder. Got all these suckers ground out. Nice little junction right there. Using that file guide to get all of those. Something cool that I did was just to give it somewhat of a keyed fit up. You see how I got the notches all cut into that tang? Once I drill my hole down into the teak wood and fill it with the G-Flex epoxy and then stick this down in it, once that sets, it's not gonna let it spin ever. Sure isn't gonna let it come out, but that's one little added touch I like to do. So, all right, let's go get that piece of junk wood and let's cut it up to size. All right, time to shoot a little through hole in here. Cool, well that was pretty quick. Totally just freehanded that and eyeballed all of those, but we got this fit up, so time to go ahead and hit them. Time to go ahead and hit them with the G-Flex epoxy. So, we ready. Alright, so what we're going to do is, my favorite epoxy ever is this stuff, G-Flex, marine grade epoxy. The PSI holding strength to this stuff is ridiculous, but just like the name says, G-Flex, it becomes flexible when it cures. It's not like other epoxies that a regular epoxy gets brittle and it can just chip. G-Flex actually has some flex to it, so it's just perfect for knife making. But I don't want to wait for this stuff to set for 24 hours. So what do? I take the G-Flex resin and I'm going to use the Wet Systems G5 hardener. So this is something you can do. You can take the G-Flex resin with the 5-minute hardener, and now you're going to have the G-Flex hold and the properties of the G-Flex, but it's going to cure a lot quicker. Instead of us having to wait till tomorrow to finish this up, we'll be able to give it about, 5 minutes and be right back on it. But anyways, this is what we're going to do. So, a little bit of a gap here. I'm going to meet up the gap with this hemp. So we're going to saturate it with the epoxy and then wrap it. Alright, so I'm just going to repeat that same process with the fork and with the spatula. We're going to give it some time to cure, and then we'll come back and we'll start the grinding next. we did it. Had to skip a few steps. I wanted this to be a shorter video. I didn't want to just have a ridiculously long video, maybe 2 short videos, or I just wanted to fit this all into one episode, you know, one episode build here. But yeah, pulled it off. After I cleaned up these blades, then I took it, ended up doing some hand sanding, took them to the buffer, cleaned them all up, used Scotch-Brite belts to get a nice finish on the spatula here, then wiped them all down with mineral oil. But that is it. That is a barbecue set. It just doesn't feel natural making things and not doing a cut test at the end, so I don't really know why I did this. But anyways, the knife will cut. Again, this is just a fast build, and definitely very rustic looking, but it's pretty cool that we made this basically out of trash. An old rusty leaf spring and an old piece of teak wood off that old boat out there. So pretty cool to take something like that, totally repurpose it. And these are all fully martensitic. This right here was all heat cycled, got tight grain, and was quenched. So yeah, pretty awesome, super unique set of barbecue tools made from trash to treasure. I hope you guys enjoyed this video or this episode here. Throw some stuff down in the comments, what you guys would like to see, or any questions you have about this build. And anyways, we got some really big stuff coming. Actually, we're filming another episode, but had some stuff come up that's taken some time, so we figured we'd squeeze this in between. So we do have some really awesome stuff coming, so stay tuned. And again, thanks for watching. You guys rock. Later.